This kid is from out of town, right? He moved here recently. He must have because his haircut just doesn't fit in. And nobody around here has hair like mine. I'm a weirdo, right? But nobody around here has hair like his either. And I was talking about it. It's not that they're going to think you're a heck or anything. They're just going to think, well, yeah, we look different than he does at that age. And so he sticks around now. And he's through hand motions, just a handful of words. He says, well, then why do an AI chess game? There's so many of those. Why not do a poker bot for Noam at Texas Hold'em? He's right. It's such an interesting problem. First of all, I don't need a database of played poker hands because there are 52 cards and it can only come out so many different ways, right? The bidding is the trick. And then more than the bidding, I don't know what the hell it's called, their bank, whatever. Their bank is a problem too, because if you got 3/4 of the money and the first three cards come out, you got a jack in your hole and you got a jack out there, you might throw out 50,000. And depending on what the total amount of money out there is, think, well, I'm comfortable with that. I'll do that. Probably flush some more money out of this. Maybe somebody will buy it in full later. And I don't know exactly, but the pot size, of course, is the big deal. Is the all in, because if you just got a few chips, you'll go all in. If you got a lot, you're less likely to do it. That is gonna be a son of a bitch. But I've got a 24 core processor, for God's sake. And I think I'm gonna have to read up on poker because computers have to be trained a little bit. Here's my guesswork, right? I can't just do, I bid one, check, and one, whatever, one chip, one, check, check, and then one, two, check, and like that. It can be done. It'll be very it'd be very computationally expensive, as opposed to, well, I'm going to try and intimidate this guy while waiting at 50, right? So the thing is it has to beat not a computer. It has to be the human psyche. That's the son of a bitch, isn't it, right? Think about this for a second. It doesn't have to fight another computer that can think dispassionately and not understand that that's $500,000 on the table. It has to fight a human psyche. That's tougher. I can only get so far before I'd have to talk to a professional poker player. But if I had something to show him, I think he'd be happy to make $2 for me. Maybe not. No, because this is a. Maybe not. The thing, the fallacy is that the bids are based upon the cards and a tactic to manipulate the other bidders alone, as opposed to seeing through the tactics they're employing. You have to manipulate your bid. Because you can randomly generate this and say, well, if I do this and I do this and then this, but you can't predict that your bid is what Yeah, depending on the bid that you want to elicit, um, does it all work out in the wash? And the bid you want to elicit a bid with your bid because that's the pattern. The bid, 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 bid. Then I have the winning bid, the high hand, and the winning bid, the maximal winning bid too that I can get. So you want to elicit a if there's three people at the table, you want to try to elicit a bid from the person to your right that will elicit a bid from the person to their right. And this is can't be done by just saying, all right, well, let's do 111, 112, 113, 114. Because this isn't a distribution. This is just every combination once. And you could possibly look at high yield jackpots and randomly chosen bids and go for bidding patterns in the high yield jackpots. That's not the world's worst idea, I wouldn't think. Um, is a starting point or is a four-way down the line point. I think computer has to know. You have to teach each player to bid intelligently for a maximal yield jackpot. And then you have them all bidding together for maximal yield jackpots for themselves. And that's how it's refined. Um, that's it right there. How much more can be to it? You get the random, you just every combination of bids, and then you go get the high yield jackpots. Well, this is what people will aim for, high yield jackpots. And from there, you get a table of four computer programmers running at the same time, all aiming for high yield jackpots to learn with every combination of cards, and they learn their bidding strategies. I think that's possible. Let's see. I don't know if I said this on the camera, but part of it is manipulating the other players with your bids. And hopefully this is what will work itself out in the wash, and it probably won't. It might. You want to bid to influence the bid of the person to your right, and that to influence the bid of the person to their right, if you're good enough, right? And the people who go to Vegas every year certainly are. And also you want to um, understand how they're trying to influence your bid so you can react appropriately. That's why I say aim for high yield jackpots and hope it works itself out in the wash. And I don't know if it will or not. It might. Not high yield jackpots, high yield pots. And like I said, you don't need poker data. Bid data would be amazing. But the games, it's just 52 cards. How many combinations, It's 52 factorial, which is a really big number, but I got a 24 core processor, so. It's not even that because you don't deal at all 52 cards. Okay, I got another book. I got the deep learning book, right? I just fucking crawl my way through the math background. It was brutal. This is like postdoctoral stuff, I swear to God. And yeah, I've taken like a few senior level classes as an undergraduate. And then the programming stuff, let's go. 20 pages in, he says, I recommend these 2 books on machine learning as opposed to deep learning. So I gotta get one of those. And back to the deep learning book. Probably won't have to read the entirety of the machine learning book. Chess was overwhelming. This is a project. It's not a 6-month project either. It might not even be a 1-year project. It'll be rewarding, and if the trust fund comes through, it'll be fun. No, let's face it, a bunch of fucking fruitcakes tallying up numbers with heads. And you ever see Searching for Bobby Fischer? There's folks in the basement of the chess place, the adults, right? No, why? I said poker was an honest profession. That's just smart, man. Oh, incidentally, I heard yesterday that my aunt is no longer returning phone calls from. I probably remember this morning. Yesterday morning, she's no longer returning phone calls from people around here. She did something where some woman who sounded very sure, very fucking sure of herself. Like she didn't have a lot invested in it either. Like not like she really cared one way or the other. Said she's going to prison, even with much more certainty than that. I was just complaining about it with the door open. So if I had to estimate, it's probably with suing the guy who owns the condo complex that comes through, and he'd be a fool not to settle because if he went to court, even if he has a 90% chance of winning, that 10% chance of losing hundreds of millions as opposed to just 10 or 15 million is just suicide that no one would take. If he believes there is a case, it's probably a winning case. So I don't know. There's this guy out there, short guy, wearing a suit and tie, about 5:30 in the morning, day before yesterday. And I said at one point, I said, so I guess I just talking to myself. So I guess Ted's gonna come see me in a month or two, and he'll probably say, well, there's been some changes with the trust, and here's the new arrangement. And he'll probably have about 15-minute talk, and that'll be that. I hear this, yeah. I turn out and see him do the fist pump, right? I knew he was out there, so I was probably talking so he would overhear me, but I didn't have the nerve to look at him at the same time because it's freaking me out. If I had to guess, but the suit and tie made me think he was a friendly, so to speak. So I'm going to keep looking for a job. I'm going to keep looking for a job. There's no doubt about that. And 2 months from now, I might find it. If I find out that all of a sudden I'm making as much from the trust as I was a computer programmer, right? Or potentially more. I just don't know. I think Ted might take the tack. It's a reasonable tack to take. He also probably says a standpoint, I don't want to play father figure. But like this is your life now. This is how much you need for your life now, and here's some padding. Like this, okay, now this is your life now. This is how much you need for your life now. This is some padding. Might be the tax he takes. So we'll see. It makes sense, right? Until he and I'm probably one of his more valued clients at this point. Get all the fucking business I throw his way. I think he might watch my trajectory and see a soft max and have me saturate at the soft max. Okay, I understand this is probably about the most you're capable of. Here you go. I don't know.